Okay, I just wanted to make a quick video to show a few things that I've been playing with lately that I thought a couple of things turned out kind of cool. So what I'm showing you here is I went out and did an aerial survey of the area around my RC flying field and stitched it all together and made a little point map, and I just wanted to show how that looked when it came out, which I thought was super cool. It's really clear. You can see all these little lines in the point cloud, and this was flown on a day when there was about an inch or two of snow over the ground, and so most of these little windy lines are deer trails. And I just thought that was really cool how it came out in the point cloud. For example, down over here, there's a ditch that runs along here, if you can see my mouse pointer, and a little earth bridge here, and you can just see how all the deer filter in, cross the bridge, and then spread out again. There's another cool thing over here. A guy drives his truck in, parks right here where my mouse is. You can kind of see the little cluster of points where he gets out and walks, or gets right out of his door of his car, and I don't know, mulls around a little bit getting his stuff ready, and then you can see he walks, and if you can follow my mouse, all the way across the field up here, cuts up here, up here, up here, and then into the woods. And then it's hard probably to see, but down here at the bottom, then he comes back after he's walked around in the marsh and the woods for a while, follows this trail back to his truck, and then his truck backs out and off they go. It's just fun to see all the deer trails show up in the data like this. So this is the point cloud, and then there's another little tool I've been playing with, and let's see, here it is. So this is all the imagery overlaid as a mosaic, and this is all done with custom in-house Python scripts that I've been working on for fun and for some different projects. And so this is a little visualizer that takes all those images that have been exactly placed and draws them. So yeah, so okay, so I'm going to come back here, boom, right there, and I'm going to zoom in, and this probably isn't going to really show up very well on a YouTube video, but we'll try. You can see the two parallel tire tracks come in and stop right there, and here's where he gets out and leaves all his footprints, and then here's his footprints that go off, and we can just follow over here. And as we go, as we move the center display, the system will now load the best picture covering our center of focus. One thing that's kind of cool here is, unlike sort of a web-based map browser that we often see with image stitching software, I've preserved all the images, so I can do something like this where I can hit different number keys, and theoretically it will pull up the different images that cover that area. So this maybe isn't the best spot to do it, but if I back out, you can see like the active image is slightly highlighted and everything else is slightly dimmed, which is a little bit obscured because of the vignetting of the camera. This was taken late in the day, so it was kind of, the light of the day was getting kind of dim. But you can kind of see how the different pictures show up here, and they're all exactly placed. So the camera view changes, but the content really changes very little. So we can come up here, for example, where he crosses. This is the grassy mowed area. Over to the right then is the plowed field. And again, we can look at the different views that cover this area. And you can see it changed very slightly, but the optimizers put everything pretty exactly where it's supposed to go. So what is this good for? The point of all of this is I'm displaying the original imagery, so I can zoom in and get all the full imagery, or all the full detail of the original image, and I can like way over zoom I'm not limited if I decide I want to zoom in for some reason. So this is intended for searching through my imagery to find all the needles in the haystack. And so not only can I preserve all the detail, I can also look at the different images that cover this spot, and that's kind of fun. And I can, for example, toggle back and forth between different images and kind of see some of the motion. And this is still a work in progress, so this is not exactly a polished end-user product. It's a product out of our research lab at the University of Minnesota. We have some different projects that are looking for invasive plant species. So we want to fly surveys of different areas and then go through the imagery with a fine-tooth comb and hopefully find specific plants. And in our initial test, that's looking pretty plausible and pretty successful. So I don't know how long this video is. We're 6 minutes. Wow, I can just talk and talk. I just get fascinated just paging around and hunting through the imagery. There's just cool stuff. I don't know, the deer trails just totally fascinate me. I somehow want to map them all out and draw them all out as lines, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So anyways, this is a quick way to navigate. I think there's like 800 or 900 images in this set, and I can navigate through. Here's a dirt pile and have all the images at my fingertips. They're all in exactly the right orientation and scale and stretched to fit together exactly right, and I have all the images that cover a spot. And I can toggle between them. So it's kind of fun. Like, if, for example, where that would be useful is if I look at something and I'm not sure what I'm seeing in the first picture, I can look at some of the other images that cover that same spot, and they might come more from one side or another, and you can get a little bit more detail, a little bit more perspective on what you're looking at. And it's also possible that one of your pictures just totally turned out blurry and was worthless, and you might want to look at what some of the other pictures showed up. Yeah, so if I want to see myself, I can zoom in there, and there's me with my fluorescent yellow cap and my camera looking back up. Hey, there's some weird stuff going on the roof, and that's totally normal. This system is not doing a dense mesh progression. What's the word I'm looking for? A dense mesh. Okay, I'm blanking. It's not doing that. Most of these stitching systems will start with a sparse mesh, and then from there they'll create a dense mesh, and they'll use that to create the ortho photos and 3D models. And what I'm doing is I'm using the sparse mesh and projecting out the images, and so onto the surface with the sparse mesh, and the end result then is where you get to areas where there's a lot of height variation, like a building here. There's just a few anomalies that can show up there. Typically the ground features that are matched are rock solid. And again, this system is used for locating needles in a haystack. We want to come up with a list of latitude and longitudes of the things that are interesting, and we're not trying to make 3D models. I'll leave that up to the experts to do that sort of stuff. Here's our windsock. And again, I can look at the different views and see from different perspectives and different times the wind is changing a little bit, and then here we run off. There's only a few pictures that cover this spot. And yeah, maybe I'll leave it at that. I'm just having fun showing you around my RC club field and zooming in and seeing some of the details that are available, which is kind of fun. Again, this was flown about an hour before sunset, so on a cloudy, dreary day, so you can actually see those tracks going through the woods. Okay, this video is far too long, and I bumbled around not explaining everything very well, but I just wanted to make it up quick and see how it looked. Alright, thanks for watching. I still want to keep browsing here. It's just fun to see what's out there. And zoom way in, zoom way out. Okay, thanks.